So you don't have ADHD yourself, but you are living with someone that does have ADHD, and you want to make your home more ADHD friendly. I'm going to give you 12 ways that you can do that in this video. The first thing that will help you make your home more ADHD friendly is embrace the sticky notes, using them, putting them all over where you need them, because they are great for reminders, they are great for communication, they are great for just writing anything you want to write and just sticking up someplace. You can even have specific colors of sticky notes for each person, so when you look at it, you automatically know that person wrote that note and that you need to write a note back, and they automatically know your color for your sticky note as well. Another great thing to make your home more ADHD friendly is have a central place. Use a landing pad, and what that is, it is a place where if you come in the door and when you're leaving, you have a place where you can put things and you know that they are going to be there. You can also have like a place called a command center where you have all your phones, all your sticky notes, a dry erase board, the stuff that you need for the day before you go out the door is also there. And when you're getting ready the night before, whatever, you can say, well, I'm going to get ready. Where do I put this stuff that I need? You put it in that central location. Now, another thing that's a great thing for ADHD friendly home are smart home things. That light behind me is really cool because I can program it to come on at a certain time, program it to dim at a certain time, program different colors. Right now I have programmed the blue, and the great thing is that I can set that up to make sure, hey, at this point when I wake up, I want this color and this bright, and when I get ready to go to bed and try to go to sleep, I want to dim it and have it a different color altogether. And that can be great for relaxation too, because you can change it to a blue color or a purple color that helps you get into the relaxation mode. And that's awesome. And you can do all this from your phone. I recommend a smart speaker because of the fact it will tell you the time, the date, the weather. If you forget something that's on your schedule, it will also tell you that. And you can ask it random information and it will bring that back to you. And the good thing is it plays music. As long as you have an account set up, it'll play music for you and play all sorts of songs. And if you get the wrong song, which I do a lot, get the wrong title, you can just tell the title and it will still find the song you're looking for most of the time. Now, another thing that you should get is going to be a clear bin or clear bins. And the reason I say that is because you can see inside them. You don't have to really remember, hey, where did I put that? You can go ahead and just look and say, okay, I'm thinking about this. That's not the bin I need to look in. It's going to save you time. And with ADHD, you tend to forget things. So it's going to make it a more friendly experience for them as well, because of the fact that they may be looking for something and they may have forgotten where it is. And then if you have a clear bin, they can say, okay, it's not there. They can go through and find it very quickly. Another thing that's essential in an ADHD friendly home is going to be labels. Label everything that you can, because you're not going to remember everything that is in your home generally and where it is, and they might not either, and they generally will need some kind of reminder, and a label is a great thing. Now, you can use sticky notes or actual labels, or they have chalkboard labels, whatever you want to use, or you can just write, on the container. If you have a clear container, just write on there, hey, this contains peanuts or whatever, right? Just as long as you have some sort of label system. Another great thing that you can do that makes it more ADHD friendly is to designate areas for specific things. The easy ones are kitchen for cooking and have your dinner table, but you can do things like, this is a study area. This is a place that I go to meditate. This is a place where I just go and I'm going to just be creative here and do all my creative activities here. You have different places that you can do that. And if you do that in your home and you agree on them, it's going to make it much easier, because when you want to do that certain activity, or when they want to do that certain activity, they automatically know, hey, this is the place that I do it. Now, if you need to label it, you can do that as well. Hey, this is this area, this is that area. You're just going to label it and put a thing on it. But having these different areas is just going to make it much easier, especially if you lose something and you know it goes in that area. That's really easy to say, okay, I've lost this. I found it. Now I can take it back to the area that it belongs. Now, if you're getting value out of this content, go ahead and share this video with somebody, and also high five that subscribe button for me. So the next thing is flexibility. You need to be flexible, because a lot of times when you have ADHD, things change fast. You might want something here one day and then here the next day. Be open to new things and new designs and maybe new colors or something else that may be in the apartment or house that you're living in. And you're like, not sure about that. But you just compromise and be flexible. And when you're living with someone in general, you generally have to compromise a little bit here and there. Another ADHD friendly thing is to use color organization. Maybe you have 3 or 4 different colors: red, blue, green, yellow, and you have different things connected to those colors. Maybe red is bills or something that you say, hey, make sure that you do this, or make sure that this gets done. And so that's in red. And then yellow might be something like, okay, we're going to go to this event. All the yellow things in this event are for our summer vacation or whatever you're going to do. And so when you do that, it makes it very easy to look at something automatically associated with the color. And that way you automatically know, does it go in a certain folder? Does it go in a certain bin? Is it for this? Is it for that? And you get used to it, and it makes things much faster for you to find certain things and for them to find certain things as well. And if you haven't noticed, a lot of these things has to do with visual cues, because visual cues help you find something, relate something to something else, to make things faster, to go a certain place or do a certain thing or put something back. It is amazing, and it helps you to remember things, which is also great, because when you have ADHD, sometimes you have a lot of trouble trying to remember something or trying to figure out, okay, what did I come in this room for? Or where did this go? Where does that go? All these different things. But with different visual cues, it helps to make that process easier. This will take some participation on your part, but do some meal prep together. And the reason I say this is because a lot of times when you have ADHD, you might just not remember to eat because you're doing something, or you're hyper focused on something, which means really intense focus. Or you just are like, hey, I just forgot, I got busy, I was doing this and that, I was running late, and I just didn't get to eat. And so I just grabbed the first thing that I could out of the refrigerator, whatever. Or maybe I was on the couch and just, I grabbed such and such and I was just eating that. So if you do meal prep together, it's not only going to be good for you, but it's going to be good for them, because of the fact you're going to have organized little meals that you have, and you can eat those throughout the week. And when they get hungry, they can just go in and grab a meal instead of grabbing something just random, or just not getting up because they're like, hey, I want to go get some food, but I don't know what I want. And maybe I want this, maybe I want that. But then I have to walk all the way into the kitchen. And then when I get there, I'm going to have to decide what's in the refrigerator that I want, or what's in the pantry that I want. And so that whole process might be really overwhelming for them. And they would be like, well, I'm not going to get up and get any food at all. But if you have stuff meal prepped already, it's really easy. Hey, I'm going to get up. Oh, I'm going to get that meal that I already prepped. It's all good. Give me some chicken or whatever. And another great thing about meal prep is that you can use a variety of foods and then brainstorm and then figure out together what each of you wants to eat and what would be good to make and what would be fast to make. Now, in an ADHD friendly home, one of the best things I have is a pen and a pad. I know it says sticky notes, but this is different because a lot of times you can't put all the information you need on a sticky note, and you need to have a larger pad and pen. And this has to deal with ADHD. If you did not know, it works with a working memory deficit. And what that is your short-term memory to help you remember things as you take in more information. So if you take in a lot of information at once and you're trying to manipulate all that, and that goes through that working memory of yours, and you take too much, you're not going to be able to pay attention to more information. So having simply a pen and a pad around the house can be so helpful to a person with ADHD. And so just have them in random places, any place that you might think that they might want to take down information, brainstorm, whatever you want to do. Just put them in a certain place and let them know, hey, right here are different pens and pads. And if you want to get different colors of pens and pads, if you want to do that as well too. Another thing that you can do that's great for an ADHD friendly home is hire some help. And what I mean is, you might have a virtual assistant. You might have some college kids home that just want a summer job or whatever, and they want to just mow grass or organize something, whatever, and you pay them a little bit. And that's going to be a great thing for you, because the more things that you kind of offload and let somebody else do that you don't really want to do, that might be boring to you or someone with ADHD, the better it is going to be for you, because you can free up time. And you can do this on a budget, so it doesn't have to cost a lot either. And the value that someone that will come in and do something for you that you don't want to do, and that you think, hey, this activity is just going to take me too much time to do, or I'm just not good at that activity, is going to be such a value to you, save you time, and also just help make things easier for your household in general. And remember, this is a work in progress. You have to work together to figure out what is good for them and what is good for you. And you keep working at it until you come up with something that is awesome for both of you. Have you ever thought about making a room more ADHD friendly for yourself or for someone that you know? Here are 11 simple ways that you can do that. First of all, the thing that you want to do is make sure that you can see everything that is important, because when you have ADHD and things are behind things, you may not notice that they are there. And now you're trying to go around your room and find whatever you're trying to look for. Now, a way you can do this is when you have a desk, make sure that it's clear of all the extraneous stuff that you don't really need, and only the stuff that you need is on there and you can see everything. Now, another great thing to have in the room is going to be a communication station. This is where you have your sticky notes, your notepads, dry erase board. It's great to communicate back and forth if you have someone living with you, but also it's great just to have some place to write things down. Maybe you just want to remember something really quick. You can write it on a dry erase board. Maybe you want to make a grocery list or whatever. You have pads right there. Or maybe you just want to jot down your thoughts right there on the pad. In general, you have your communication station at a desk. Now, another thing that is great to do is inside the room, designate different areas for different things. So again, if you have a desk there, make that the study area or where you do like your business or whatever. Have another area, maybe your workout equipment is over there. Maybe you have a nightstand. Now, a nightstand is really good because a lot of people put just specific things on their nightstand. But all inside your room, you have these areas, and so it's really easy to go into your room, look around, and know exactly where things are going to be or where you need to put them back. Another thing that will help in an ADHD-friendly room is going to be a portable clothes rack. And so this helps you clean out your closet and have your clothes that you normally use all the time on that clothes rack, and you can see them all the time. And it makes going in there and choosing whatever you're going to wear a lot easier too, because you can go there first and look through all the clothes there. Like if you need to stand in front of a mirror and try stuff on, you can just move it there, and that way you have access to your clothes. And the reason you have this is because a lot of times when you have a closet inside of a room, a lot of stuff gets thrown in that closet a lot of times if it's not, organized together. Another great thing to have inside the room is going to be storage that is clear, that you can see what is inside, because sometimes when you put something somewhere, then you kind of lose sight of it because of the fact you may have put something in front of it, and now you're looking for it, and now you're looking through all the bins and containers that you have because they're not clear, instead of having one that you can just see inside and making it much easier and much faster for you to find what you want. Now, another great thing to have is some type of bed storage, or what I mean by under the bed storage. You may have a bed that has a pull-out storage place, and that's great, or you might have a container you put under the bed. Also, another great thing to have is going to be a bed caddy, and these things are great because you can put them on the wall, or they connect right to your bed, and you can put whatever you want to in there, like cell phones, charging cords, wallet, keys, whatever you want to put in there. And it's convenient because now you don't have to get up and start looking for whatever you want to look for. You can just look in your bed caddy and know that it's already there if you put it in there. And the other great thing is they don't take up much space, and so when you get ready to go to sleep, you can just lean over, put your phone or whatever in your bed caddy, and then you know exactly where it is when you get up in the morning. And they're not expensive at all, and they have all sorts of different kinds. So when you find one that you really like, then it's going to be a great asset to have inside of an ADHD-friendly room. Now, another great thing to do in your room is to have things set up in the frequency that you use them. So the items that you use more frequently, make sure that you can get to them and have easy access to them. And so you might just love books and have a lot of books that you're going to read, and you might have a series that you really love, and so you have a bookshelf. Now, don't put that bookshelf behind something that makes it hard to get to that bookshelf and take out your favorite book. You want to have that bookshelf in front of all the stuff that you just don't use that much. For example, you might have a tennis racket, tennis balls, all this kind of sporting equipment in your room, and your bookshelf is behind that. And so you read all the time, and now you have to just climb over all this stuff, remove all this stuff out of the way just so you can get to that book that you really want. Instead, move that stuff somewhere else, store it in a different place. Your tennis racket, your balls, your whatever other sporting equipment you might have that you just don't need as much, or you don't use as much. Like you haven't played tennis like 5 years, but you still have the racket and tennis balls. Move that stuff to a different location so it's easier for you to get to your books and enjoy your reading. Another thing to do as you're in the room and organizing everything, make sure that you don't have useless items in the room. Like for instance, you have a chair in the corner that has one broken leg, and if you put anything more than some clothes on there, it's going to fall. And so it's not really a useful item because no one is going to sit in that chair, and you know that. And plus, it's broken in the first place. So you want to take that chair and try to get rid of it, and then try to find a chair that's actually able to be sat in. And the other reason to get rid of a chair like that is sometimes that chair becomes the place where you put laundry that you haven't folded yet. And then it becomes an ever-growing pile of laundry they haven't folded or that are dirty clothes or whatever in that one chair. Great thing to have in the ADHD friendly room is a box for all the things that you're just not sure about. Like you might find something in the room, you're like, I don't know if I need this. What's this for? I probably need to figure out this later of what it is. And so you put it in that box and you just have it in the area for all that stuff that you're not sure if you're going to give it away. You're not sure maybe what the function of it is. You're not sure if you need it or don't need it. So you just put it in that box. Now you do have to eventually go in and clean out that box and figure out what everything is. But for the time being, just so you don't take a whole lot of time trying to figure it out and waste a whole lot of time, especially if you have to be somewhere at an appointment or something, then you could just take it, put in that box, and then figure out and organize it later. Now, if it gets to the point to where it's overflowing, then that becomes an issue. So you do want to have a day or time to where you can figure out what is in that box and make a decision about what you want to do with each of those items in the box. Another great thing to have in an ADHD friendly room is things that help you sleep or things that help you to wake up, because a lot of times when you have ADHD, you are up very late in the morning. And so you're trying to get to sleep and you're sitting in your bed and you're just like, man, I just have all these different thoughts running through my head and I just can't get to sleep right now. So things like white noise machines, pink noise machines, or maybe you have a bulb like a lamp that I have in the back there that allows you to change the color and have it go on and off at a certain time, or maybe just something else, whatever you have that can help someone to get to sleep. Also, the other thing is to wake up in the morning, a really loud alarm clock definitely helps some people, or at least it helps me, but everybody is a little bit different. So a different type of alarm clock can help a lot of different people, just one that is good for them. Now, personally, one of my favorite designs for an alarm clock is the one where once it goes off your dresser or whatever, and you have to chase it around the room to actually turn off. I think that's pretty cool. They have alarm clocks also where you have to solve math problems to turn them off. And so I would not even want that kind of alarm clock. Another great thing to have in an ADHD friendly room is going to be labels and being able to label things. It just makes finding things easier when you can look over, read the label, and just know what's inside something, or know that is a location to put this certain thing. You can even have ones that are color coded, and maybe those colors represent something to you. Hey, this is what this color means. This is what that color means. But any way that you want to do your labels to make it easier for you to go around the room, or make it easier for them to go around the room and find exactly what they're looking for, is going to be a very good asset to have in the room. Another great thing to have in an ADHD friendly room is going to be drawer dividers, because it helps having sections inside the drawer so you know exactly where things are. When you look inside the drawer, you can say, okay, socks are here, underwear is here, shirts are here, or maybe you have like your cologne or whatever, or perfume in there as well. Maybe you have jewelry in different sections in your drawers as well. You just are going to have drawers that are divided up into different sections, and it makes it so much easier to find whatever you're looking for, or so much easier to put things back in the right place so your drawers just don't become a mess. And I think when you have a drawer divider in there as well, it just kind of prompts you to say, okay, I could just put this in there and throw it in there, but now I have these different sections, and that prompts me to kind of put things in there the right way in the right section. Also, it's just good to have because it just makes it look better once you open the drawer, and everything has its own place. And another thing about an ADHD friendly room, don't worry about perfection. The room does not have to be perfect. And the reason is because sometimes on a whim, you just might want to rearrange your room, change things up because you discover, hey, this is not really working for me. Maybe if I move this here, this will work better. Or that is not in the right place that I really want where I can get to it easily. I'm going to move this here. Or, hey, I just need to get rid of this thing and it's already in that kind of section where I can just take it and move it out or whatever. You want to have that kind of flexibility instead of just everything in the perfect location. And that's not to say it's not good to strive for perfection if you want to do that or whatever. And what I really mean is just don't fall into perfectionism to where you're wasting so much time trying to figure out the perfect design for the room. You just want it to where it's comfortable. Want to make your bathroom ADHD friendly for you or for someone else? Here's some simple hacks that you can do. Number one, make sure that you can see all the important things that you want to use, because of the fact when you have ADHD, you might glance around the room and miss something that you really want to use. And then you're going to wonder where it is and spend time looking for it. Also, with ADHD, sometimes you have what's called object permanence, where you put something down you just had, and then because you can't see it, you forget that it's there. And now you're trying just to remember, okay, what was I actually looking for? And so if you make things easy to see, then you are going to prevent that. Now, one of the best things that you can use to help you with this is going to be a Lazy Susan. A Lazy Susan has places on it generally where you can put a lot of different items. And so the cool thing about it is it spins. So if you don't see something on the front, you can spin it around, see what's on the side, see what's in the back of the Lazy Susan. And the other thing is, because of the fact that it spins, it makes it really easy to access everything. And the other thing about this is it does save you space because now those things are on the Lazy Susan and organized. And one more thing about a Lazy Susan, they do come in different sizes and different functions. Sometimes you have one that's in your cabinet and helps you with your whole cabinet. And other times what you have is a Lazy Susan that sits on top of your counter, and they come in different tiers. So you get a 1 tier 1, 2 tier 1, 3 tier 1, whatever you want to use, whichever one is best for you. And now another thing that is a great hack is to decide where you want to put specific things, because sometimes with ADHD you forget where something is, or you forget where you want to put something back. And so if you have this designated spot, it's going to make it much easier to remember for each of these situations. Now, the other thing is, some people put things in different places. Like your friend might put towels and washcloths in a closet, and you might put them under the sink or in a basket or wherever. And so you need to have that specific place so that you know where you need to go, where you have put that stuff. And now this is something that is going to help save time and make things easier for you, is to roll your towels and washcloths. And the reason this is good for ADHD, because when you have to do menial, boring tasks like fold clothes, fold washcloths, then it's just going to make it a lot faster and easier just to roll them. And now this thing is essential to bathroom organization, and for an ADHD-friendly bathroom is to have baskets in the bathroom. And the cool thing is they allow you to see what's inside, easy to access, easy to store, and they save space, and you don't have to have something just perfect in the basket for organization. So they're great for holding towels and washcloths and soap and lotion and whatever. And the other cool thing is you can put them anywhere in the bathroom, and you can get decorative ones if you want to as well. Now, something else as a must in an ADHD-friendly bathroom are different types of caddies. One is a shower caddy. You keep all your toiletries and stuff in there. You have one outside the shower if you want, or have one that stays inside the shower. You can hang it on a shower head. And the purpose of a shower caddy is to make sure you have everything so that you can take a shower and that you know that you have not forgotten anything that you need while you are in the shower. And another type of caddy is called a tub caddy, and you keep this on your tub with everything you need to take a bath, whether it's soap or a bath bomb or whatever, or just maybe you like to read in the tub and you need to have your essential magazine there. And the cool thing is, because a tub caddy sits on top of the tub, you have access to everything on it once you are in the tub. So let's say you want to have dinner in the tub, then you can take it, put it on the tub caddy while you're in the tub, and have yourself dinner in the tub. And another thing that is essential and a must-have in an ADHD-friendly bathroom are different types of shelves. And there's two types that I think are really good. One is having floating shelves. And what a floating shelf is just a shelf that doesn't have any support under it, and it kind of floats on the wall, as you can see here. And the great thing is, because you have the floating shelf in the bathroom, you're able to take stuff off the counter or just wherever and put it on the floating shelf, still have access to it. The other type of shelf that is good also is going to be a ladder shelf. And the reason it's called a ladder shelf, because you have different steps going up. At the top, it has a ladder top on it. And the great thing about both of these is they give you space to use that you couldn't normally use before. Floating shelves on the wall and a ladder shelf just in any space that you can find to put the ladder shelf. And the other thing about it is this is going to help you remember where things are, and they're going to be easy to access. And another thing that's essential in an ADHD-friendly bathroom are hooks. Whether you have installed hooks on your door or wall, whatever, or if you get the command hooks, the ones with the adhesive back that you're able to put on just anywhere, these are both very good options for hooks. And also something else is, if you don't have enough space on the hook, then you can also do some hanging storage, where you hang something on the hook that has more space in it. So then you can store more items on the hook than just the couple of things that you would normally store on one hook. And another must in the ADHD-friendly bathroom is to divide the drawer into different sections. And this is going to help you keep your drawer organized, because sometimes drawers just get messy. And then you're trying to figure out, okay, where's the toothpaste I have, where the Band-Aid that I have, and you're looking all over and you may not find even what you're looking for. If you have multiple drawers, that's even a bigger task and more difficult task. But if you have drawer dividers inside your drawers, or even containers inside your drawers, then you organize things in there. You can make sure things go in the right section or right container. And so that's going to make it much easier to find exactly what you want to find. And now another thing that's essential in an ADHD friendly bathroom is to get rid of all the things you do not need. Expired toiletries, gifts you got that you're just not going to use. You got this bath bomb and you're like, man, I'm never going to use that. Or you got some different type of shampoo and you just like, I don't really like it. I didn't like the smell when I bought it. And then I figured out I'm never going to use it. All that stuff that just is not stuff that you're going to use or you don't need, get rid of it, give it to somebody, throw it away, whatever you want to do with it. But you don't want it in your bathroom because it is going to take up space. And if you keep it, it's going to create clutter. And so this is going to help you have more space in your bathroom and be able to help you keep things that you actually want to use in your bathroom. And another thing that's a must in the ADHD friendly bathroom is to label things. Have some worn out towels you want to donate, you put them in a basket, label it. Or you have a cabinet that you store certain things in, label that cabinet. Or if you have a shelf you have certain things on, label that shelf. Or just have containers, put a label on there as well. And the point of this is to remind you of where things go, so it makes it easier for you to remember this time and also the next time you need to look for something or get something from that spot or container. And another thing that's a must in the ADHD friendly bathroom is to let yourself be creative. You don't have to design it like in a magazine or something you see on TV or whatever. Just let it be your creative zone and do what you want to do that helps make you more comfortable, helps make your bathroom enjoyable to you. I'm going to talk about 12 simple hacks that will help you make your home office ADHD friendly, and they're all going to fall into one of these three categories, which is things you need to think about and decide, or organization hacks, or decluttering hacks. Now, one of the first things that you need to decide is what kind of desk you're actually going to use in your office. You could use a standard sitting desk, which is the most common, or you could have a stand-up desk where you're standing all the time while you're at your desk. Now, this helps because it actually helps you to focus because you are actively standing up, and that means you're not as much relaxed as you're doing your work or anything like that. So it just helps you stay more focused, helps you pay attention more because you do have to stand. Now, within those two things, you have two other options you can add to that. With a standing desk, you can have an under the desk treadmill. So not only are you standing, but now you're kind of moving, getting some exercise along the way because you had that treadmill. And as you're moving along on the treadmill, you're actually doing your work and you're getting a little bit of dopamine because you are exercising. Whether you are doing the treadmill slow or a little bit faster is completely up to you. Now, if you have a sitting desk, then what you can do is you can have an exercise ball there instead of a chair. And that does help a lot too, because of the fact that the exercise ball helps you to kind of realize that, hey, I got to stay balanced on this thing. Otherwise, I'm completely going to fall off of this thing. And it also gives you the option to kind of roll around. If you want to roll around some, you get bored and you're like, hey, I just kind of want to move around some. And that gives you the option for that as well. And thinking about this, when you're sitting on an exercise ball, you probably are exercising your core a little bit. So you are getting your core exercise just by sitting on the exercise ball all day. If you don't trust yourself to sit on an exercise ball or stand up, then go ahead and get a chair, and a comfortable chair to use at your desk. And the next thing is that a desk gets cluttered pretty quickly. We just end up putting a lot of different stuff on our desk, stapler, papers here, papers there, scissors, whatever we have else, we just throw it on top of the desk. And that just makes it hard to find everything, because out of sight, out of mind is a real thing. And if you put it on a desk and you cannot see it, you may not even remember that it's there. And that's bad, especially now since it's like coming up on tax season, right? Like you have to go through and find all your tax papers and submit them over to your accountant or put them into your program to figure out everything. And you need to have all of them. And if they're spread out on the desk, which could be a real possibility somewhere, then now you're going through and trying to find them all and pull them all. And you may not know where they all are. And now you have to take all that stuff off just to find the things that you actually need. And that can just make it so that you are going through and wasting a lot of time just to find these tax papers. And you don't even like to do the taxes anyway. Nobody does. And this just makes it even more frustrating because you need to actually get them done. And so the point is, because of the fact that your desk will get cluttered up pretty quickly if you don't try to maintain it. And so the hack to solve this issue is to keep your desk, your flat surfaces of your desk, really clear. That means make sure you just have the essentials on there. You don't add anything extraneous. If you have papers, put them somewhere in a file cabinet or a folder in a drawer somewhere, and just make sure you label the drawer so you know exactly where those things are. But you just want the actual things that you will use every day on your desk. And something else to think about is all the office equipment you have on your desk, because sometimes it's on there and it takes up a whole lot of space. Your printers, your fax machines, the paper for those things takes up space as well. And so now you're losing space out to the office equipment that you could be using for something else that actually is essential, that you need to have and reach right now very quickly. And what you want to do is take that office equipment and actually put it on a different table somewhere else, so it's not near your desk. And so then you have that room to actually put stuff really good and spaced out so it doesn't look all cluttered, because otherwise you have this equipment on your desk and now you're organizing around it. You're trying to organize things and put it around it and find space for those things. So again, you want to clear those surfaces off for the desk. And this is one of the things that you can definitely move to another place and still have it fairly convenient. You know, how many pairs of scissors and staplers and tape holders do you need on top of your desk? You don't need 2 or 3. Put them in a drawer somewhere. It's good to have extra, but you only need probably 1 on top of your desk. So these are things to think about so you don't have all this extra stuff on your desk. And the best thing about taking stuff off your desk is now you can find all the stuff that you know that you need to declutter or donate or just get rid of, that just doesn't work for your desk anymore. You don't need it in your office anymore at all. You can see all those things and get rid of all those things, and then just go through and say, okay, I definitely need this stuff. I'm going to keep this stuff in my office. And now I have a lot more space because I just have the essential things. And the next thing is look around your office and figure out anything that's in your office that is broken. Like that printer you have for 6 months that you know that you're going to get the cord to go to it and fix it, and you never have, and it sits in the corner and it's been there for 6 months. And I'm totally not speaking from experience or anything. Yep, I had it. And I was waiting for the cord for just so long, and I knew that I was gonna actually get the correct one, and I had to throw it away. I just knew. I was like, there's no way. I've had this thing so long. It's just in the corner taking up space, and it was time to go. So anything you have in your office like that, that is just broken, that doesn't work anymore, and you know that it's broken, and you're just like, hey, I am gonna do it someday. Procrastination is a very real thing with ADHD. And if you put it off to say, hey, I'm gonna do it someday, then it may never get done. And so to avoid that, what you wanna do is anything that is broken in your office that you're sure that you're not gonna use, or that it's just been so long, you wanna go ahead and declutter that stuff and get it out of your office so it's not taking up space. And the next thing is finding a place for everything in your office and figure out where everything goes. And the best solution I have for this, instead of just putting stuff just randomly around your office, just, hey, it fits there, I'm gonna put it there. What you wanna do is you wanna create different zones within your office. If you wanna have a printer and a fax machine, you know you use it every day, you know you need to get to it, then you wanna create a zone that is a printer station, fax station, have a table, have all your stuff on there that you need for printing. Maybe you wanna have places that you keep just all your office supplies, all your extra office supplies. Maybe you choose the zone as a drawer and you put all your extra office supplies in there. And so now you have these different places that serve a specific purpose, and you automatically know, hey, I've got this, all this stuff that I need to print, put it in the printing station. I've got all this stuff that is my extra office supplies. It goes in this drawer. Now, the thing is, you want to make sure you label these things if you're sure that you won't remember it. Like if you know, hey, I automatically know I need to go to this drawer to get these certain office supplies, then that's great. But I would still say label it to make sure, so that you just don't have a brain fart sometimes and just be like, I don't know where this stuff is. Where is it again? And you spend all your time looking around for it. And then if you have a label, you don't have to do that. And also, if you like coffee, then make a coffee station somewhere. Have a Keurig in there and all your different coffee stuff somewhere in the office where you can just go and prepare your coffee. And that way you don't have to go to the kitchen to get the stuff as well. And another hack that you can use is use sticky notes to actually be temporary labels around your office. If you want to figure out where something goes and you're like, I think it might look good over there, go ahead and put a sticky note on there, write on it where you think the station or zone would be, and then think about it and go back and say, okay, you know, I don't think this is a good idea to have this here. And then it's very easy to move the sticky note to somewhere else. Then you can figure out from there. as opposed to if you have a label that is really, adhesive label that's hard to get off. Then if you put a label somewhere and now you're going to have to struggle to get it off, but a sticky note is a great alternative to use to figure out things first. And the next thing is dealing with all of your cords that you have in your office that you just have on the back of your computer or desk that go which way, this way, that way, different colors, different sizes, and you have no idea which one goes to which thing. Or you might have a couple of cords that you know, but you don't know all of them. So every time you have an issue where you have to unplug something, you have to go through and kind of do the thing where you unplug a cord and see if that's the one, and then plug it back in and go through the other thing and unplug this cord, see if that's the one, and then eventually you find the cord that you need. But that just takes such a long time. And the other thing is, if somebody walks in and sees all those cords, it just looks like a big mess, right? And so here are some things that you can do to help you with cords. One, you can use labels to wrap around the cord, just the regular old adhesive labels you can put around the cord and write down which cord goes to which thing. And that way, when you do have to go through and try to figure out the different cords and what they're to, you can go through and just look at the label and automatically know, okay, hey, that goes to my printer, that goes to my computer, that goes to this, or that goes to that. And another thing that you can do is have a cord management box. You take all your cords and put it in a hole in this box, and it runs through the box and out the other side. But you see all your cords in the box enclosed, and when you put the top on the box, then no one can see your big jumble mess of cords. And it also kind of makes it more neat because you are kind of bundling them together so it doesn't look like they're crossing all over the place too. So it just helps to actually make sure that your cords are kind of organized and also make sure that people just don't see a jumbled mess. Now, the other thing that you could do as well is you could get a cover box or a cover box. And what this is, it looks like books, and you can put it on a shelf and it just looks like you have a set of books there, but inside you put all of your cords inside this thing, and that way people can't see them, and you have something that looks like a book on a bookshelf, and they don't even know where your cords are unless you go back and look and open the box up, and then you'll see all the cords inside. But otherwise, it just looks like you have some books somewhere. And it's really easy to access. You can just move it around. It's really portable. So wherever you want to have your cords for everything, then you can actually have this box there, and everybody will just think, oh, that's just a stack of books. And the next thing is, make sure that you have some place in your office where you can just go sit down and just brainstorm and figure out what you want to do and all the options and everything. Because sometimes one option is great for everybody else, but you have thought of option 2, option 3, and option 4, and maybe option 3 really works great for you. And so you use that option instead of the other option, and you still get to the same place or same goal that you want to achieve. You're just using it a different way because that works for you. I know when I was in grade school and college, I kind of struggled because I was having issues trying to take in all the information and everything. And then I finally figured out, okay, I have to study this way. I have to take my notes this certain way. I have to go ahead and use these different ways to study a different way. I had to go through and maybe have 100 flashcards and go through them like 100 times to kind of retain the information, or just whatever else I needed to actually make sure that I learned the information and then could go in and take the test and pass the test. So I didn't do it the way that everybody else did it. That way worked for me. And so you need to figure out things in that way for you, your own way to do it. Now, one thing you can do is make sure you have a pen and pad in your office. And that way, when you think of something that you are like, hey, this would be a really great idea, you can just go ahead and write it down on that pad. And then now I'm assessing, is that idea really good? Or maybe you have 5 or 6 ideas, and then you pick just one of those that just does what you want to do, that just is a way to accomplish whatever you want to accomplish. The other thing that you could do is you could have a vision board. And what a vision board is, you put pictures or documents or whatever, and you're gonna figure out what your goals are. And so you put things on there to represent your goals. Things on there are things you want to do. You want to go on vacation in Acapulco, wherever, then you put a picture of that up on your vision board. You want to make sure that you accomplish a certain goal by this time, then you put something to represent that on your vision board. And that way that you have all your goals kind of on the board. And that way you can look at them and say, okay, I'm going to accomplish this, I'm going to accomplish that. and you can have them big or small, whatever suits you, whatever is good for you. But it's just an exercise in brainstorming and figure out, okay, what are the things that I really want to do? What are the things that I really want to accomplish? And this is great if you're in the office because you probably are going to be doing work in there, and you're probably going to have certain goals you want to achieve. And this is just a visual way to figure out what those things are and how you can kind of go about them just by thinking about the different paths you can take to get to them. And the next thing is you want to make sure that you can access things easily, quickly, and that you can see things, have them visual too. And so one of the ways you can do this is have baskets inside your office. Baskets are pretty versatile because you can have them shapes and sizes and colors, and you put them pretty much anywhere. So you add a few baskets in your office, and that way you have some place that you can still see things. You can take things in and out of a basket quickly, and it doesn't have to be all the like things. It would be cool if it was, but you can put multiple different styles of things in the basket as well if you want to do that. Another thing that you can do is you can have a rolling cart in your office. And so these are really good because you can actually just put a lot of different stuff on the rolling cart and then roll it to wherever you need to roll it to. Maybe you want to prepare for the day and have everything in the rolling cart that you need for the day. And then you eventually just roll it by where you're going to be working in your office. And so now you can go ahead and reach those things very quickly, and you know what's already in there so you can prepare for your day. And you can add shelves to your office as well. So if you want to add floating shelves on your walls, and now you can take stuff from your desk and put it on those different shelves, and you still can access them easily and see them all the time. So it makes it really good to free up space and give you more space to put things. And you can also get organization storage cubes, and they come just single by themselves or attached all together. So you can get them in 3 and 6, or you can just have a huge wall with just organization cubes if you want to do that as well. But it's really good because easy to get things in and out of, easy to see. And if you have the single ones, you can kind of just get multiple and then design it however you want to, however is good for your office. You may not need one that's so high, so maybe you just need a whole row of them on the floor that you can use that way. So they're very versatile, and they're very good to make sure that you can access things really easily. And the next thing is, what are you going to do with all your folders? How are you going to organize your folders in your office? And so the way I look at it is there are 3 different types of folders that I have, which is very important, super urgent, I need to get done right now. Then the next folder is going to be, kind of important. It needs to get done, but it's not just super urgent. And then the next folder is, okay, maybe it needs to get done, maybe not. It's not really urgent right now. I can think about it later kind of folder. And that way you know where things are and things go. So you know that if you have something super important, it goes in one folder. Something that's like important, but you still need to get rid of it, goes in another folder, and vice, and through, right? And the thing about this is you can even make it easier on yourself and make them different colors if you want to make it sure that you want to be able to see them. And then it just makes it so much easier to go through and just say, okay, this is important. This goes here, and that goes there. And you know exactly which folder everything goes in. And now another way that you can organize your folders is actually by category. So maybe you want to have bills, vacation, just things and brainstorm ideas that you have, and you can organize them by that way so that you have different categories of things. And then you take all the things that fit in that category and put in that certain folder. And that way, you know that when you see this folder, all the stuff that should be in there should be all alike in that same category. So it makes it much easier to know where to put things and where you're going to go look for things. And the next thing you need to figure out is everything that's going to do about your mail, because a lot of times you get mail that just has coupons, 30, 40 coupons in the mail, and you don't really need that stuff, or you get credit card offers that you don't need or whatever, right? Yeah, hey, do this offer and get this discount and everything, and you have no idea why you even need that stuff. But you get your good mail that you need your bills and things like that. I don't know if bills are actually exciting things to get, but all the mail you actually need, then you have that mail. So you want to figure out a way to make sure you just keep the good mail and then throw away all the junk mail or the bad mail. And so the way to do this is to have a mail station. What you do is you have a place to put all your good mail and then a trash can for your junk mail. So when you come in, immediately as you come into the office, you go to your mail station, you say, hey, this is all important mail that I need to keep. And then in the trash can, you separate and throw all the junk mail in the trash can, right? That way you have a place that you know all your good mail is, and you know that all your junk mail is gone, and you don't have to worry about it anymore. You don't have to figure out, okay, It's on my desk. I gotta go through and sort through all this mail and figure out what's junk and what's good. Everything that's at the mail station is going to be good. And that just makes it really easy to know where my mail goes and know they have all the good mail and know that all the junk mail is gone. And it's just gonna make it so much easier to keep your mail organized. And the next thing is you need some place in your office where you can take breaks, because you're going to need to take breaks, especially when you go in your office and you know you're gonna be in there for long hours and everything. You're like, hey, I'm just gotta be in here and just get this done today. And so you need to have a place where you can take a 15-minute break. That's a pretty good amount of time. Just go and relax somewhere. And so I would suggest having a recliner in there. If your office isn't too small, you can have a recliner in there, just a comfortable chair where you can go, and when you take a break, go and just sit down and not really think about anything business related for a little bit, just to let your mind relax. You want to have a diffuser in there to kind of get the aroma going that you really like, or maybe you have a white noise machine, or maybe you have a certain music playlist that you want to listen to and everything. But you just need some place that you can go and just take a break and just relax for a minute, because if you're going to be doing work for multiple hours and you're going to try to focus for that long, then it is a good thing to go ahead and schedule multiple breaks throughout your day so that you can get refreshed for the next point or the next goal or the next thing you're doing for the day. These are some unbelievable life-changing kitchen organization hacks for ADHD. Number one, set up things where you want to use them or where you use them most frequently, because this is going to save you time. Because when you have ADHD, you have a tendency to maybe lose things or put them in the wrong place. And then when you're going to try to find them again, you may not remember where they are. And so if you have them all in one place, then you automatically know, okay, all my stuff is there. Or if it's in a wrong place and you find it somewhere, you can automatically put it in that place because you know that's exactly where it goes. And then when you go to that area, you don't have to worry about anything, and you can just start cooking, preparing whatever you want to do in the kitchen at that time. And keep things visual. You want to be able to see everything. You don't want to have something behind something else, because you may not realize it's there, or you may have forgotten that it's there, especially if you're thinking about object permanence, which is, hey, when something's in front of you, you can see it, it exists. And when you can't see it, it doesn't exist. And this is something that ADHD deals with. And so you want to make sure that everything is in your field of view. And also, it's not the most fun thing to try to recall just everything and not have a place to write it down or any labels. You're trying to go through it. Maybe you're like, hey, I need this pan. I need to make sure I have a cake pan. Or I need to make sure that I have these utensils. And you're trying to figure out everything and where it is and go through all that without having anywhere to write it down or any labels. That is a tough task. And something else, make sure using your vertical space in the kitchen. That means shelves or hooks on the wall. And the reason is because you only have so much space on the counter or in your cabinets, and you're probably going to need more space. Now, the advantage of having a shelf and a hook in the kitchen is, one, it keeps things visual generally, because you can just look at the shelf and know exactly what is on there. And it gives you a little bit more ease of access to whatever is on the shelf as well. And so you automatically know, hey, I can reach up and grab that thing. Now with hooks, you can do the same thing. And again, it keeps things visual for you. But the other thing is about a hook is you can put more stuff on it, like utensils, and you can use a hook for that. And so they are both very good to have, because now you have all this stuff on the wall that you could use and access. And you don't have to go looking through cabinets. You don't have to go and try to figure out, okay, where is this on my counter? Look behind stuff. And also, don't keep things in the kitchen that you don't need. It just becomes clutter, or it's just in the way as you're trying to do other activities in the kitchen. And so go ahead and get rid of whatever it is and throw it in the garbage, or trade to somebody, or give it to somebody else, whatever you want to do with it, but don't have it in your kitchen. And an example of this is you have a mixer that's broken. You're always like, hey, I'm going to go fix it. And you just haven't gotten around to it, and it's still on your kitchen counter. At that point, you probably want to go ahead and get rid of it and throw it away, or whatever you want to do with it. And another thing, make sure you're reducing your duplicates as well. How many pans do you need of the same kind? How many Tupperware containers do you need? You may have 50. You only need like 7 because it's just you in an apartment. How many of this or that do you actually need, especially for the exact same thing that serves the exact same purpose? Maybe you have 2 coffee pots and they serve the exact same thing, and this one is older, this one has better functions, what are you going to do with the extra coffee pot? You might as well go ahead and get rid of it or give it to somebody. And so you don't want to have all these different duplicates taking up space in your kitchen, because at that point they do become clutter. And also make sure you're keeping a running grocery list. And what I mean is you have a dry erase board or you have a chalkboard, just pen and piece of paper that you come by and put down things that you need as you see them. And you say, hey, I need eggs. And you go and put that on the list. Or, hey, I need pasta or whatever. You go and put that on the list. And then at the end of the week, when you try to go get groceries, you automatically go and you can look down and see everything that you need on the list. And then if something's not on there, you can also add that. But it's much easier to do that and keep a list like that instead of trying to remember everything at once. You know that you have most of the things that you need at the grocery store on that list. And now you don't have to try to go through, remember it all, write it all down, and then maybe you get to the grocery store and forget something. And if you have a junk drawer, which a lot of people I know do have a junk drawer and it's in the kitchen, then every so often you want to go through that junk drawer and clean things out, whether it's quarterly, weekly, whatever time that is good for you to go and clean it out, or just reduce the things that are in there that you know you're never going to use. You've lost whatever it is. You're not sure where this goes to. You don't want to just keep it just because. You are just going to go and just go through that junk drawer and get rid of things that you don't need. And then some of the things that you do need, go ahead and keep those. But you don't want it to get to the point to where it's overflowing and then you can't open the drawer. I've done it sometimes where I have the junk drawer so full, I'm trying to get it open and it never opens. And then I have to kind of finagle it to get it to open. And that's not fun. So go ahead, go through it, and then decide what you really need and what you want to keep. And also, we have to talk about timers, because timers are important. Most people have them in the kitchen already, but with ADHD, you really need timers. It's because you want to be aware of the time. And when you have ADHD, sometimes that's not an easy thing to do. You might be watching a TV program, get engrossed in it, and just forget that you have something on the stove, whether you're cooking or that's in the microwave that you just left in there, or that you're boiling water and the water's already boiled and the pan has nothing in it. And so you want a timer to remind you, hey, you are cooking this thing, or this thing is in the microwave, or this thing is pretty much done. And by the way, if you need more than one timer, then make sure you have more than one timer. Like, you know that you're going to hear the timer go off and you may not remember that it's there. You may not be paying attention to it. And so you need a second reminder. Then go ahead and have another one to make sure that you are aware of the time. And get rid of the takeout menus. You do not need them because of the fact that most restaurants have a digital menu that you can access through your computer, tablet, or phone and do your order there. And then you have all the specials and substitutions that you need to do on there to make sure they get your order right. And you don't end up with a pizza with anchovies and pineapple and pepperoni on it when you just wanted pineapple. So you don't need to have this big bag of takeout menus because of the fact that it's all online now. When I grew up in the 80s, I'll tell you that we needed to have this bag because of the fact that we didn't want to drive all the way back to the restaurant to get a takeout menu because we didn't have the internet thing going on as we do today. And also, sometimes when you go to restaurants now, they make you scan the QR code. They don't even give you a physical menu. And that QR code takes you to the digital menu to where you can place your order. And make sure you're personalizing your kitchen. If you want the oven mitts with the cat on them, go ahead and do that. If you want things that are a certain color, you want it all pink or all green or all purple, then go ahead and do that for your kitchen. And it's all about things that you need to make it enjoyable in your kitchen. So whatever that is, make sure you have it so that you don't just dread going in the kitchen to try to cook or try to do whatever you need in the kitchen. You can go in there and just feel like, I'm in my kitchen, my space. I designed this. Now, this is not the only video I have on kitchen organization. I have a video about different items that you can use for kitchen organization on a budget. And you can watch that video right here.